Awesome. And we're live. Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to our live with Jenny Scholl. Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing so good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for hopping on. We're so excited.
Yay, I'm so excited too. I love it.
So, Jenny, tell us a little bit about you. Who are you?
Ooh, about me, there's so many sides to me. But for this conversation, I guess I'll start with, well, I've been here in San Diego for about 2 years on a journey from corporate sales. I was in LA doing corporate sales for many years, hit a burnout session, started traveling, started finding my purpose, started aligning, started working in nonprofits, and have kind of come a little bit full circle of finding out a lot about myself along the way and being able to really use all these tools that I've been able to soak up, whether it's in cultures around the world or luckily in this beautiful place I live now in Encinitas, to help people now align with their mission and their values and then their lives and businesses. So they, what I call burn bright, don't burn out. Because I believe that alignment is the antidote to burnout, which is what I've experienced a time or two.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about burnout because that's something that comes up and people don't even realize that they're having or starting to experience symptoms of burnout. And it happens with a lot of entrepreneurs, right? When we go to exit or when we are stuck in a corporate job. So what are some of the symptoms for burnout?
Burnout. So it's when things feel really heavy, right? When it's like you don't even want to do something that maybe used to excite you. Or you notice that you've been in this flow, in this routine, and something's changing. It doesn't feel the same anymore. For example, when I started at a startup with about 40 people in advertising, and it went through a shift, it went through an IPO, it went through, it got resold, it got bought again, all these things. And I realized one day that it had changed, and that what I really liked about it was that beginning culture. And since that was no longer there, it was like a need that wasn't getting fulfilled, a need that I didn't even know I had at the time, which is why things felt out of alignment. When I felt like I stopped becoming an integral part of this community and, you know, this fabric of this company and started becoming just a number, I felt myself kind of skimping on things, started dodging responsibilities, just felt like things were really heavy. I would come home and just like not want to talk to anyone. I would turn on some like Bravo TV show to just do mind numbing watching because I was just drained. I had no energy.
Yeah, 100%. I can relate to that. I've had burnout maybe twice, unfortunately. Each time it gets better and it's like quicker where I'm like, okay, symptoms are coming on. We need to do a switch and like take a break or find something that lights you up again. So
Totally. And it's so important. And even this last time, I had it again recently and I was doing something I loved. However, I wasn't doing it in my own unique way. I was like trying to mirror someone else. And because I was out of alignment, I burned out. So,
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about alignment because that's how you work with your clients, right? So what is alignment for some people who that word might be something that's not common to them or that they're like, something's not right, but I don't know what it is. What is alignment and how can we align ourselves?
yeah. So alignment is living in your fullest expression of truth. And it's different for everyone. And it's really that feeling when you feel like you're on, right? And part of that, there's words like intuition, which again, some people might not as be familiar with that feeling. But when you are living in your fullest expression of truth in your life, and then you can translate that over to your business, it just creates such authenticity and transparency for your clients that it's like a win-win-win because you are glowing from the inside out. You know, I say align and shine because really when you're aligned, you can't help but shine. And I know in what you do, you're just like so radiant and you're like so excited because it's in this full alignment. It kind of just takes over and it's on your mission, it's on your purpose, it's on your values, and all these things are kind of stacking in.
Yeah, that's awesome. What comes to mind also with that is flow. Like when you're in alignment, like it's that time when you're at flow, you're at peace, and things just kind of fall into place and just naturally happen and just magical things like mountains move for you because you're so in flow kind of thing.
Totally. And things feel easy.
Yes.
And the more you start to recognize that feeling, the quicker you recognize when you're out of it.
Mm.
And then you can kind of get back into that flow and just like keep it rolling, which is, really how when people say they want to create ease and abundance, the quickest way is to just get in alignment.
Yep. 100% awesome. And so that's the how. And so what kind of work do you do primarily? So it's about aligning their company, their mission. I know that you were working a lot in the nonprofit sector and still once you exited. And so what are you up to right now in your business?
Yeah, so many fun things. So I do a few things, and it is about alignment. It's aligning your mission with your energy, with your offer. And I do it for individuals, whether it's in their lives. For some people, if they are a solopreneur, it translates over quite well to their lives and business. So I can work one-on-one. And then I also do what I call impact consulting, which is where I help mainly nonprofits, some for-profits, but mainly nonprofits, do the same thing. Really kind of get to the core of what's their mission, what's their values, who's on their team, how can we rearrange their team and their business efficiencies to better flow, and then how can we align their offer per se, which is their fundraising platform, so that they can create more impact.
That's awesome. And so segueing into like aligning your offer, that's something that you're going to be talking about at the conference, right? Can you speak a little bit on that?
For sure. So we're going to go through the steps at the conference. I'm so excited of really kind of honing into the mission, not only who you are, but who you want to serve. And then your energy, because, we all have different human design platforms. We all operate a little bit differently. And which is why I feel like some coaches kind of fall into the trap of just listening to a webinar and recycling it and repeating it and trying to do it in their business without really taking stock of like, is this aligned with me and does it work for me? Because there's like little tweaks based on who you are and how you're made up, which then goes into why it's so important to align your offer based on the needs of your audience, and kind of what I call the 3 S's of purpose-driven sales, which is serve, share, solve. So if you're really like serving your audience and you're sharing your knowledge and you're solving their problems, you're coming from like such a good place. Yeah.
And I love that, especially because for internally, those who are watching don't know, but I was trying to find someone specifically slated in sales for the conference because I had this vision of coming from a more aligned place and an authentic place, because there are a lot of sales courses and webinars and everything out there. And they're really subscribed to this kind of pushy, almost icky sales script, right? And so everyone's like recycling it, and you can like hear the first words and just know that you're going to get pitched in some way or another. And so I wanted people to really come from a place that resonates with them, that's going to help them, because everyone is different, and that's the beauty of it, right? Because we need everyone in this world, because I always say there's enough room for everyone, but there's not enough room for everyone to be a copy, right? So
I love that. Yeah.
That's what I love about what you're bringing to the table, and also with more of and going into that like woo-woo that, we're so fond of, that feminine energy of nurturing through your sales, right? And really coming from a place of serving and providing versus just a take. And that really shifts the energy when you go to sale.
Oh, 100%. HubSpot recently did a study, and they said 3% of people trust a salesperson.
Wow.
It's like below journalists, it's below anything. And we do live in this day and age, and especially those of us who are in this more conscious community, we can sense that a mile away. And it is coming from this, we need to be in this place of transparency and authenticity, and and using our more feminine qualities and masculine, just like the blend of empowering the two, because we don't want to shut out the intuition part that has a lot to do with it. And it's so funny now that I have these tools that I realized when I was in traditional corporate sales, I was doing some of this stuff, like, although I may have just learned what real manifestation is, like everyone in sales has a copy of the boat they want to buy on their desk, right? Like, it's like, and you're like, hey, Yep, that's that. But it's how do we harness and use these tools in a way that's so true that we vibe at a frequency that just naturally calls in the people that we are meant to serve.
Yes. And I love that you're also going through, and in prior, it's a 3-day conference. So prior, we are going to refine the target market, but really going over that again, because a lot of coaches, and I find their biggest problem, and I work with 6- and 7-figure coaches planning retreats in my other company, and they'll come and they're like, I want to build a retreat. I'm like, great. Who is it for? Everybody. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work. If it's for everybody, it's for nobody. And so that's a really important thing to highlight, that as soon as you can get very specific, and so many people are so afraid of that, like FOMO almost. I'm like, oh, fear of missing out on the market. And
totally,
what's going to make you stand out.
Right. Because I think when you do that, then you lose some of that transparency and authenticity. Yes. If you're going to be the person that just says yes to everyone, like, how do I know you're for me? You're for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And it feels like you're just kind of glossing over the offer.
Totally.
And, you're saying yes to everyone. So I love that.
Yeah, so, there's a really cool mission statement exercise I'm excited to do with everyone that kind of, it goes into like the who at the end of it too. It's like you really envision like, who are you here to serve? Because you're right. There's going to be so many incredible people and coaches in that room. Like, you don't have to be for everyone. You're probably going to be sitting next to someone on either side that's got the other people.
Yeah.
You know, like we can all work together.
Yeah. And some people, I mean, some people just their energy, like they're not a right fit, but you might be that perfect person for the person that's not a right fit for somebody else. So
totally
getting away from that fear, and that also like a lot of scarcity mindset, I feel like comes in with that, right? Of like, there's not going to be enough. I was talking to someone and they're like, yeah, I want you to speak about like planning events, but I don't want you to teach them everything because I do events and then they're going to like start planning events. I was like, there will be enough events for everyone.
You're like, let them try, and then they'll come back.
Yeah. I was like, that's okay, because you're the hub for the people who plan events, and then there's the people who attend the events that people plan, right? Totally. So getting away from that scarcity mindset and looking at it as like, I have a very unique offer that's in line with my core values, and that is going to attract the right person. Because also it's like the 80-20 law of when you attract people who don't really align with who you are, it's a lot of energy.
Yes.
I prefer to have like one really good client than 5 bad ones. Like, because at the end of the day, the amount of energy versus the amount of money and like the happiness that comes in, it's not even comparable.
And then that's where the burnout comes back in, right? Because you're out of alignment, you've compromised on your boundaries, and you've compromised on your like values of that you set for yourself, and now your energy is being drained.
100%. Yes.
So, and it can happen really quickly. It's like one false yes, another false yes, another false yes, and you're in it.
Yeah. And so, and they're like, how did I get here? It's like, oh, remember those 1 or 2 yeses that you said? You made your own bed kind of thing. So
yeah, and some people are scared to say no, but I love that. One of my friends always reminds me, like, you can say no, because saying no to me is saying yes to yourself.
I love that.
And it just feels really good when you put it that way. You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to say no to you, but because I'm saying yes to myself right now.
Yeah. And I love in my business, when I got to a point when I could afford and really afford shouldn't have been the marker there, but when I was able to say no. And I almost would take joy, and I'm like, no. And people are like, but it'll give you, I'm like, no, it's just not right. And people are like, that was a lot of money. And I'm like, I know, but it's just not right. And I know the amount of like time that and energy that I'm gonna have to put towards this. So it's a no.
Yeah. And it kind of goes back to the 3 S's, those serve, share, and solve. You're not really serving them if it's not 100% fit.
Yeah.
Share, give the referral to someone else that you know is a great fit, because it's gonna come back to you, because that's what's ultimately gonna solve their problem.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. And there's so many incredible people, like you said, that like, yeah, let's share. What's not a great fit for me might be a great fit for you, and vice versa. And if we all really stay true, then we're really serving people at our highest.
Yeah. And I love that. Like going back to, and I feel like coaches don't do that enough, creating a referral network, right? That you have people to refer out to. A lot of people ask me as an event planner, if I'm in competition with wedding planner and everybody else. And I'm like, no, I have like a little black book of event planners that I'm always asked. And if it's a no, I direct them to them. And it's not a competition. It's more of a ecosystem where we share and we help each other out. Because sometimes when you take on really big projects, I need to call in event planners myself to work with me, right? Mm-hmm. So having a really big or a really useful, like well-vetted, aligned referral network is what is really going to benefit everybody as well.
Right. Yeah. And it's going to come back to you.
100%.
And it's going to serve everyone just at the highest. So
100%. So we're about to open up for questions. If anyone has questions about aligning your offer, so you can brighten that out.
Yes.
And in the meantime, I want to ask, so what are you most excited about for the conference? I asked this to everyone.
I'm really excited for this conference. You're bringing together such incredible people. So I'm excited not only to share what I know, but I'm excited to like poke in and get a little sense of what everyone else does too. Because everyone's got such creative gifts and talents that everyone's going to be sharing. And I just can't even imagine. I'm just imagining all the little nuggets that are going to come that are going to help me and help everyone there.
Yeah.
From all of these different perspectives and energies that are going to be like combined in one place in alignment.
Yeah, 100%. And so many, I mean, 40 speakers, a lot of people are like, it's a lot. I was like, yeah, it is, but it's just, it was what felt right. 40 speakers is what it needed to be.
Let's do it.
Oh, so I'm excited. I'm very excited. So if anyone has comments for Jenny about, about aligning your offer, burn bright, not out. I'm going to put that burn bright.
Yeah. And feel free to comment later too. I'm happy to jump in and answer questions for anyone who's rewatching. If you're experiencing burnout, if you want to know what it's like to really feel in alignment, come to the conference, because then we're going to be doing some of the exercises that really can help you like tell the difference when you're in and out of alignment and really get clear on who you are serving, how you're sharing, and how you're solving problems.
I love that. Yeah, and I want to highlight again, because I even had a friend experiencing symptoms of burnout. And this is something that, entrepreneurs, it's very, very dangerous. So I experienced burned out twice. And the last time I experienced burnout, it was very, very heavy to where I forgot my name. It was really bad. Yeah, I didn't know where I was and I forgot my name. So with that, it can like your mental capacity. And I was talking to someone the other day and they're like, why is it that people, and I learned this in psychology and in HR years ago, was, people who do day labor, like physical labor, make less than those with intellectual labor, right? And she was like, it's not fair. And I was like, well, it's because studies have shown that it takes less to recuperate from physical labor than it does from mental labor, right? Because burnout can be such a big thing. And psychologists and HR professionals are very aware and vast in the subject because it can be a huge loss to the corporation, right? If they have 5 people out on burnout, they might not recuperate those employees. So can we talk a little bit more about maybe 1 or 2 solutions to burnout, or like key other than feeling out of alignment and that exhaustion? Because I feel like a lot, like at least 60% of our world is in exhaustion because they're not truly aligned with who they want to be. But instead of motivating people to just quit their jobs and come to the conference, I want them to.
I don't do what I did, which was I quit a very lucrative sales job.
I did that too.
And I didn't really have to. I just didn't really know any other way. And I don't recommend it. Luckily, I was okay for a little while based on the reserves there. But there's definitely little things, and a lot of it comes with self-care and self-love, and not just self-care like, oh, I'm going to combat burnout by getting a pedicure. Like that probably, maybe it'll work if that's for you, but probably not entirely. But it's really are you sleeping enough? Are you drinking enough water? Are you eating enough? Are you filling your mind with content that inspires you? Are you filling your time with people that inspire you? Are you doing something for you? Like, are you taking the time to reevaluate your goals and your priorities and making sure you're aligned? And knowing yourself. And that's where a part of the aligning your energy comes in. It's like, Do you thrive in certainty or uncertainty?
Mm.
You know, like what lights you up? What can you do in this job that you already have to just do like little tweaks in your day? Even if it's just, I have alarms set on my phone every 2 hours that either like remind me to be grateful, which now is just like a natural part of me, but it takes practice and it takes a routine, or remind you to, you know, not let comparison get in the way and focus on your purpose, or like do a little dance, move your body, you know, like any of these things that can just like shift up your routine and recenter you to like intentional happiness, I guess. And because you can bring that, you can add that to your life.
I love that so much, because there's so much, right, on social media, and a lot of these, you know, conscious words have become almost buzzwords, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people are like, ooh, self-care, and they're like drinking by the beach, and it's like,
Yeah.
what is it, right? And so a lot of people are using it more as an excuse. So I love that you gave very concrete examples of what actually self-care is, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, self-care day, I'm just going to sleep in and not do anything. And then that means they didn't get laundry done, they didn't meal prep. Like sometimes meal prepping is self-care, because so you have yummy and healthy food the rest of the week, you know?
Totally. And that's probably someone that thrives on certainty. And if you know that about yourself, then put things into your day and into your week that can make that easier for you. Yeah. And meditation, reflection, gratitude, all of these things that like that come back to center and say, hey, I love me. Let me learn as much as I can about myself and what my needs are so I can give them to myself.
I like that. Yeah. And surprisingly, a lot of people don't ask themselves, and we were talking about this a little bit before we hopped on. We don't really ask ourselves questions, right? So given we grow up in a society, and now the generations after us are getting way better, but asking ourselves questions about what do we really want? You know, what really feels good? Why am I feeling this way? You know, these are not questions that we're prompted to ask. And so I've told people in like the mastermind, like, okay, if you're going to quit and you don't know where to start, do the, you know, perfect day journal, where you take a blank sheet of paper and what does your perfect day look like? And people just stare at it sometimes for weeks on ends, because they don't really know what lights them on fire. They don't really know what they like or what they want to do. You know, they're like, oh, I have all day, I'm just gonna sleep all day. I'm like, is that sustainable? I don't think so. There.
Yeah, you're right. And it is taking the time to ask those questions and to really, I've just been on this self-discovery journey, especially these past 6 months, to learn as much as I can about myself. Because the more that I know about myself and what my needs are, what my values are, what my priorities are, the more I can shift into that perfect place and surround myself with the things that I need, that regardless of the outside circumstances, I'm still burning bright. Because I've created this, you know, for myself, which is, we all have these tools, and I'm just so grateful that there are people in our community that continue to teach them, that now I can help teach others.
That's amazing. Yeah, we got some hearts on that one. So if anyone has any more questions about, I'm just hogging all the questions. Come on, don't be shy. I did put set daily reminders. So what is your website, so I can put it in comments?
Oh, sure. Yeah, my website is just my name, jennyscholl.com. SCHOLL. And then there it's got some of the, an upcoming Burn Bright, Don't Burn Out program, which is super exciting. So right now I just work with mostly one-on-one, which is so fun to see people create businesses that are like really aligned with what they want. Oh my gosh. Can I tell you like a little story?
Yeah.
I'm just really excited. I had this meeting the other day, and these two women that work full-time jobs that are not fulfilling all of their needs, and they feel like they're reaching burnout, are coming together to create a whole new business that combines both of their specialties, which are Reiki and holistic skincare.
Oh, nice.
Like in one healing treatment, which I'm super excited about, because when you do some of these energy works, sometimes it comes out in different ways. And if you don't know about the holistic skincare to treat it, it can just spiral into different directions.
Yeah.
And just seeing how excited they were about it was just so exciting. It just lit me up from the inside. I'm like, I can't wait. One, I wanted to do this treatment. I think like it's awesome. And two, I could see how excited they were to be creating income in a way that feels very much aligned with who they are, what their gifts, who they intend to serve.
I love that. Well, congratulations to them and to you for your new program. That's really, really exciting.
Oh, thank you. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be so great. Awesome. Okay, any more questions for Jenny? I had thought about one and now it left.
Oh, sorry. I took over.
I love it. What was I going to ask? There's something about what you said in the beginning.
Uh-oh.
I know. I'll post it below if I remember.
Okay.
Because it was about, like, we covered burnout. It was something before that you had said.
Before burnout, purpose and sit about, the serve, share, solve model, alignment being the antidote to burnout. I'm sure it'll come back to you at some really opportune moment.
You're like, okay, I'm signing off and I remember. Yeah, it's been one of those days. Okay. That just opens up more space for whoever wants to ask a question, they can, and then we don't take over.
I love it.
Oh goodness, it really did leave. It's okay. It'll come back.
How excited are you for the conference?
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I've passed this phase because it goes in phases. So for those who don't know, Jenny also is an amazing operations and logistics person. So we speak the same language, which I'm very, very happy. Especially when I schedule things, I'm like, yes, my girl, you got to schedule it.
Yeah, we love those events.
Yes. So I'm past that like marketing stress, and now I'm more focused on what I love to do, which is the operations and the timelines. And so the agenda will drop very soon, hopefully by the end of the week, if not next week. So everyone gets to see their session times. I'm trying to not put people overlapping so everyone can go and support each other, but we'll see.
Oh, wow. That's a puzzle.
Yeah, it's part of what I love, but it is, and like with the panel, I'm like, okay, but don't want these two together because I just know it's going to be bad. So I'm going to have to put two over here.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, and then I would have one guy with like 7 women on the panel. I was like, that's not going to fly either. Okay, let's switch this around.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
I feel like
yes, that's how it feels.
Yes. And so I was like, I don't think the guy would complain, honestly, to be on a panel with like 7 women.
No, but it is fun to get both the masculine and feminine different perspectives and energies.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, we're going to yeah. So it's good. I'm very excited. It's coming up soon. So yes, I'm very excited. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, by the way, and if you want to learn to burn bright and not burn out, and join Jenny's and other amazing sessions. Really, we have so many.
So many.
So amazing.
Yeah.
So many. Yeah. And it's
I'm excited to hop into other sessions too. It's going to be great.
I'm excited for that. Also, live streaming. I don't think we've marketed that enough. That's my problem.
You're live streaming?
So we're live streaming. Yes. So there will be live stream tickets available at the end of next month. But also for everyone who attends will be able to get the code and the membership to be able to rewatch everything. So,
oh my gosh, that's incredibly valuable with all the speakers that you have.
Because you can't split your
that more.
Announcement. There's live streaming, guys. So you need to get your tickets because you will be able to access the content in the content library up to a year before. With all of not only the lives that we did, but all of the workshops. For the VIPs, you will get live stream of the panel. So the mastermind panel, there's 2 of those that we're going to be having. So it's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. We got to push that because I know there's people from all over the country that are really interested in a lot of this content. And even if they can't come, it's going to be incredibly valuable for them to have the recordings.
Yeah, I have people, and I don't know how it ended up that one of the like Google searches says that it has like the same conference, and one will say San Diego and the other says UK, and I don't know how to fix it. And I'm like, so we're not in the UK. So we get people like, you're in the UK, we're so excited. I'm like, no.
That's when you just send them the live stream ticket.
Yeah, I mean, we have live stream, but don't worry about it. And so if anyone has more questions for Jenny, please let us know. Drop them below in comments and I will read them to her. You will have to tune in for our live on Thursday with Sam. That's when we're going to be giving away the free ticket. So if you haven't signed up for a free ticket, if you have hardship or anything like that, and you just want to manifest a free ticket, you want to go to our page, sign up below, and you will enter the raffle for a free ticket.
Plus, watching Sam is always a delight. So that'll be a fun interview on Thursday for sure.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes it says, Jenny, I love you and you're missing so much. I am so grateful to call you my dear friend, a dear friend of mine. This is from Sandra D. As someone who experienced burnout in teaching, which is unfortunately so common. Yes, it is. Is there any other strategies you would recommend specifically for teachers? Do you create burnout plans for schools or have ever considered it? Great question.
I haven't. Sandra, I feel like I would love to work with you on that. Maybe this is Sandra's aligning the mission, energy, and offer.
Yeah.
Because I see it as such a common problem. It's definitely something, an audience that needs to be served and a problem that needs to be solved. And yeah, Sandra, connect with me because I think I would love to help you, just use the tools that I know about burnout specifically and alignment in the bigger sense. And let's bring it down to that specific niche because you're right. That is so needed. And it's so unfortunate that today's youth are being, kind of burdened by the fact that their teachers who are such good, wonderful people are burning out.
Yeah, that is. Wow, great connection there. Thank you, Sandra. That was an amazing question. And do you have, so she says, is there any other strategies specifically for teachers? Do you have one rolling around in the back of your head that maybe we could give to her of something that they could do maybe to implement? Because, I find that teachers, and I was a substitute teacher for a bit, that, they do it just from their passion of serving, right? Is there anything they can do? Because a lot of them, they're stuck in just the system, right? And at the will of the system that they can implement right away.
Yeah, I think it probably goes back to really that combination of like self-care and self-love and learning about your needs and your values so that you can create regardless of the external circumstances that are going on around you. Like, how can you shine so bright that you can't help but radiate to to just, almost be like, that don't bother me, and
yeah.
And kind of, you unfortunately have to be the one out and put a little target on your back, but it burns so bright that hopefully it just becomes infectious. Yeah. And you have to take care of yourself. I think especially as a teacher, you're giving your, and I know Sandra has been doing some of this work too, of just really knowing who you are and what you need to stay in that peak state.
Awesome. And I'll piggyback on that a little bit. A lot of, and like with my self-care regime, you could say, like, on top of knowing what you need, a huge thing is communicating it and being able to ask for that help, right? So if it's like, Sandra, you need to take a longer lunch break, or you need maybe to step out of the class for a second, just grab one of those teachers, like create a network at your school and help each other out, but also voicing your needs, like getting very clear on what they are and making sure that you're asking for assistance.
Yeah, that's true. That's such a good point. Communicating these and not being afraid to have those boundaries. Again, saying no to others is saying yes to yourself. And communicating boundaries has been like such a game changer. And I love when people do it with me too. I don't love to guess what they need. Like, if you tell me, I can give it to you. But you only can do that if you know. And I've kind of switched my mindset on it a bit because I used to be hesitant on communicating my needs. I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to be pushy. And now when I realize I'm kind of giving people a gift of they're not having to guess either. I can be like, hey, here's what I need. And this is kind of what I need that makes me happy.
Yeah, and what I love when I was learning about boundaries, because that's also a word that comes up so much, right? And people are like, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. And it's not really necessarily putting up a wall, but I see also those who communicate boundaries with me, or that I take the time to communicate boundaries with them, that means that the relationship is that important, that they're providing you with the tools on how to operate within that relationship.
Yeah, I love that. They're not just dipping out and being like, I'm going to go over here. There's like, I want to stay here. I want to stay here with you.
Yeah.
And here's how we can better dance together.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that question, Sandra. That was awesome. If anyone else has any other questions for Jenny, please drop them below. It can be about boundaries, self-care, burning bright so you don't burn out. Really, the sales piece is something that I'm so excited for you to share about at the conference. I feel like it's so needed, and from a different perspective, because I know I tried some of those sales tactics and I would just like hang up the phone and be like, this is just, it just doesn't feel right. Like, I want to nurture clients. I want to explain and just share.
You want to nurture. You want to invite them. Yeah, you want to invite them to be like a genuine part of what you're doing. Anytime it starts to feel pushy, you're like, whoa, that's when like the defenses come up, and that's where you don't have to break down walls to get your client. You just want to be like so alive with what you're doing that you're just like opening your arms and they're coming on in.
Yeah. And that they're so attracted to you. I mean, I've gone to a couple of masterminds, and I remember one person that was there, I was telling them that I was having such trouble with, reaching my target market, and I was really clear. And I was like, the thing is, and it's the market that's been like, I've been presenting myself to by accident can't afford me. And their response, and they had been in, sales and that type of like sales tactic for a really long time. And with their ideology that they teach them is that no one can't afford you, that anyone can afford you, right? They just split it on 5 credit cards and this kind of thing. And so I was like, I don't want people to go into financial debt to work with me. That creates such stress and a bad energy around what we're doing, right? I want them to feel joyous and good about it. So I was like, no, I'm not going to take that advice. Thank you, though.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And you can tell there's so many amazing teachers out there, but you can also tell the people that are just like trying something on from someone else and repeating it. You're like, oh, look, okay, they've got a webinar that goes to a funnel, that goes to this, that goes to that. And they're in their head so much more than in their heart.
Yeah.
That it's coming through even through a screen. And so it's like, how do we take all these incredible tools? Like, yeah, webinars are an incredible tool. Funnels are incredible when you use them the right way. But how do you make them your own? And really kind of take them on into your energy and make sure, again, what you're offering is towards the right audience and aligned with your energy. You might not be someone that wants to work on one-on-ones back to back to back to back to back to back to back. That might be draining for you. And yeah, people can make a lot of money that way, but like maybe you're more with groups, or maybe you're the courses, and it's not a one size fits all, because we all have different ways and that we can identify and activate our success patterns. And that's where it's learning a lot about your mission and your energy.
I love that. Yeah, a lot of people take that like system, and it is important, like that structure of know, like, and trust comes into anything that you do in business, but it's just approaching it from a different way and like kind of like coaxing your clients in, like, yeah, hey, let's just get to know each other with no agenda. Like, this is who I am. This is who you are. It might be a good fit or it might not be, right?
Yeah, definitely. So there's just so many different sales patterns and strategies, and you just have to really like find the one that really fits for you. Because if you don't, people are going to be able to tell, and it's going to just rub them the wrong way.
Yeah, I love that stat that you gave earlier so much that I'm going to put it here. 3% of people trust
salesperson. Yeah. But that's why, especially in this industry, in the coaching industry, you don't want to come across as a salesperson. You want to come across as like genuinely has someone to offer and something to serve, share, and solve their problems.
Yeah, 100%. Love that. Okay, last call for any questions that we have for amazing Jenny. I'm so honored and grateful that you signed on and spent some time this Tuesday afternoon with us answering all these questions.
So fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It's funny, I told all the speakers, I'm like, don't worry, it's pretty painless. You're just going to like get on, say what you do, and it's going to be great.
But you know why well, I shouldn't say it's painless for us on this end because a lot of us are in alignment. And so we're not like freaking out about what we're supposed to say. It's like, I'm just going to like speak my truth.
Or like, where's the script? I forgot how do I do things? What do I do?
So okay. No, it's great. I'm excited. I'm excited to combine the sales and the spirituality and the alignment, not burning out. So it's going to be great.
Yes, I'm so excited. So excited about it all. I'm so excited about what you're bringing to the table because it's really creating that shift. And I've had a lot of people be like, oh, if you don't have anyone for sales, check this person. And I was like, yeah, I know who that person is. And I have someone amazing for sales. So I don't know.
Thanks. We're going to rock it. And people's sales are just going to naturally blow out of the water when they're in alignment. So
yes, 100%. Love it. Well, thank you so much for being online with us. Thank you for signing on for the conference, which I know is no small thing either. 3 days of wonderfulness, but it's going to be awesome. Anything else you want to say to the viewers or the replayers before we go?
No, other than if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. And Sandra, reach out to me because I think there's something there for you. I think there's a program that you can create, which is going to be super exciting.
Love that. Yeah, I love that. That connection was just instantly made. Thank you so much, Sandra, for asking that question and pinpointing that, because that is really, really huge. And that's going to shift education as a whole if we can take care of our teachers. So that's awesome.
Totally.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Thank you, everyone who tuned in, commented, liked, and we will see you at the conference.
Bye.
Bye.